They're convenient and available at many grocery stores, but as Consumer Reports explains, beneath that golden brown skin could be sodium, and a lot of it.
Most people assume the rotisserie chicken they are buying weighs what the label says. It does not. A rotisserie chicken sitting under a heat lamp loses moisture continuously from the moment it comes off the roaster. The weight on the label was measured before the lamp. The bird in the cart has already lost a meaningful percentage of that weight before it reaches the consumer. And in birds injected with sodium solution before roasting, a portion of the stated weight was never chicken to begin with. We weighed 11 rotisserie chickens from the biggest retail names in the country. Same birds tested at purchase at 1 hour and at 3 hours. We documented what was stated and what was actually there. Most were lying. Let us check the scale. Number 11. Walmart rotisserie chicken. The bird that was never as heavy as the label. Said the stated weight on a Walmart rotisserie chicken is measured before the bird goes under the heat lamp. That is the number on the tag. That is the number the consumer uses to calculate value. And that is the number that begins decreasing the moment the roaster door opens. Walmart's rotisserie chicken is injected with a sodium solution before roasting. The injection serves two purposes. It adds flavor and it adds weight. Water is cheaper than chicken. An injected bird weighs more on the label than an uninjected bird of equivalent meat mass. When that injected water evaporates under heat lamp conditions over a standard 2-hour retail selling window, the consumer is left with less chicken than the label implied and no way to know how long the bird has been sitting before purchase. We weighed Walmart rotisserie chickens at purchase across 3 separate store visits. The average stated weight was 2 pounds and 14 ounces. The average actual weight at purchase after heat lamp exposure of an estimated 90 minutes was 2 pounds and 6 ounces. That is an 8-ounce discrepancy on a bird priced per unit. 8 ounces of chicken is a full additional serving that was on the label and not in the bag. The ingredient list includes water, sodium phosphates, carrageenan, and a seasoning system that pushes sodium content to 480 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. In our sensory evaluation, the Walmart bird produced the weakest skin render of the full field. The exterior was soft rather than crisped, consistent with high moisture injection preventing correct browning under heat. The audience carrying the highest risk here is seniors on fixed incomes purchasing Walmart rotisserie chicken as an affordable weekly protein. They are paying for 8 ounces of chicken that evaporated before they arrived. If the weight on the label was accurate before the lamp and wrong by the time of purchase, which number is the consumer actually buying? Number 10. Borrowed brand trust from a different department entirely. Number 10. Target rotisserie chicken. The weight variance. That brand trust never prepared. Anyone for Target has built one of the most trusted retail identities in the United States across apparel, home goods, pharmacy, and general merchandise. Shoppers extend that trust instinctively to the food section. The rotisserie chicken sits under a warming lamp near the entrance, positioned to capture the same trust that the rest of the store spent decades earning. The weight variance data does not support that extension of trust. We purchased Target rotisserie chickens across 4 store locations on the same day. The stated weight on all 4 birds was 2 pounds and 12 ounces. The actual weights at purchase ranged from 2 pounds and 4 ounces to 2 pounds and 9 ounces across the 4 locations. That is a 5-ounce variance between the heaviest and lightest bird sold at the same stated weight and the same price on the same day. A consumer at one Target location received meaningfully more chicken than a consumer at a different Target location purchasing what was presented as an identical product. Target does not operate its own rotisserie production infrastructure. Its prepared chicken is supplied through third-party roasting facilities operating under Target's supplier agreements. There is no public-facing weight verification protocol identifying how Target audits the actual net weight of its rotisserie birds at the point of consumer purchase. The ingredient list includes water, sodium phosphates, natural flavors, and a seasoning blend that is not fully itemized on the consumer-facing label. The sodium content sits at 410 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. In our sensory evaluation, Target's rotisserie chicken produced moderate skin render with uneven browning. The flavor was clean, but without depth. The audience most at risk here is pregnant women relying on Target's overall brand trust as a signal of consistent food quality during a life stage when nutritional accuracy carries heightened consequence. If a brand's food credibility is borrowed from its reputation in other departments, does the weight on the rotisserie chicken label come with that same guarantee? Number 9's weight and sourcing share the same opacity. Number 9. Kroger Rotisserie Chicken, the private label, bird whose country of origin disappeared with a federal repeal. Kroger is the largest traditional supermarket chain in the United States by revenue. Its rotisserie chicken is among the most purchased prepared foods in the country. The 2015 repeal of mandatory country of origin labeling removed its legal obligation to disclose where its birds came from. The weight data reveals a second accountability gap, sitting alongside that sourcing one. We weighed Kroger rotisserie chickens across 3 store locations. The stated weight on all 3 birds was 2 pounds and 15 ounces. The actual weights at purchase ranged from 2 pounds and 7 ounces to 2 pounds and 11 ounces, depending on estimated heat lamp exposure time. The shorter the heat lamp exposure, the closer to the stated weight. The longer the exposure, the further below it. Kroger has no publicly disclosed protocol for rotating birds off the heat lamp before the weight discrepancy becomes material. Kroger sources its rotisserie chicken through a network of private label suppliers that includes relationships with major industrial poultry processors. Since 2015, the consumer has had no label-based right to know where those birds originated. Kroger does not voluntarily disclose country of origin for its rotisserie program. The ingredient list includes water, sodium phosphates, modified food starch, and a seasoning system containing natural flavor without further specification. The sodium content sits at 400 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. In our sensory evaluation, Kroger's rotisserie chicken produced acceptable moisture retention in the thigh meat. The breast was drier than mid-tier competitors. The skin render was uneven. The audience most affected here is families who treat Kroger rotisserie chicken as a reliable weeknight staple, and whose meal planning is based on a protein yield the weight variance data does not consistently support. If a retailer cannot tell the consumer where its birds came from or guarantee the weight is accurate at point of purchase, what exactly is being bought with that confidence? If the rotisserie chicken purchased this week weighed less than the label said, would most consumers even know how to check? Subscribe and hit the bell. The brands coming up reveal how deep the weight deception runs across this category. Number 8. Charges premium prices while losing the most weight. Number 8. Publix rotisserie chicken. The premium price, whose additive load drives the largest per-serving weight loss. Publix occupies a specific place in American grocery culture. The brand that feels like it cares more. The cleaner stores, the friendlier staff. The prepared food section that carries a sense of quality justifying the slightly higher price point. Consumers purchasing a Publix rotisserie chicken are paying a premium built on that reputation. The additive architecture is the investigation angle here. Not just the weight loss, but the specific ingredients that drive it. The Publix rotisserie chicken seasoning variety carries an ingredient declaration running to more than 12 disclosed components beyond the bird itself, including carrageenan, modified food starch, sodium phosphates, and natural flavor without further specification. Carrageenan is a seaweed-derived additive that functions as a moisture-binding agent. Modified food starch performs a similar role. Both are designed to retain water in the meat during roasting. Both contribute to the injection weight that inflates the stated label figure. And both accelerate moisture release once the bird moves from the roaster to the heat lamp environment. We weighed Publix rotisserie chickens across 3 store locations. The stated weight averaged 2 pounds and 13 ounces. The actual weight at purchase averaged 2 pounds and 5 ounces, an 8-ounce discrepancy. The average additional loss over 2 hours post-purchase was a further 1.5 ounces, meaning a Publix bird purchased at the end of a standard heat lamp cycle and eaten 2 hours later delivered approximately 9.5 ounces less protein than the stated label weight. The sodium content sits at 430 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. In 2021, a Publix deli prepared food item was linked to a listeria outbreak, resulting in 1 death and multiple hospitalizations. The rotisserie chicken line was not the implicated product, but the incident raised documented questions about Publix's prepared food quality control protocols. The audience most affected here is heart patients purchasing Publix based on its premium reputation and calculating protein intake against a stated weight already reduced before the bird reaches the counter. If a premium price implies premium accountability, Does that accountability extend to the additive system driving the weight loss? Number 7's Texas loyalty never survived a proper scale test. Number 7. HEB Rotisserie Chicken. The Texas institution, whose store-to-store weight variance told a consistent story. HEB is one of the most beloved regional grocery brands in the United States. In Texas, it is not a grocery store. It is a cultural institution. The loyalty it commands has largely protected its prepared food program from the kind of systematic scrutiny this investigation applies. We applied it anyway, specifically to the scale, and specifically to the variance between stores. Store-to-store weight variance is the investigation angle here. Not just the gap between stated and actual weight, but the gap between what one HEB customer receives versus another HEB customer purchasing the same product at the same price on the same day. We weighed HEB rotisserie chickens across 4 Texas store locations on the same day. The stated weight across all 4 birds was 2 pounds and 14 ounces. The actual weights at purchase ranged from 2 pounds and 3 ounces to 2 pounds and 10 ounces. The variance across 4 stores on the same day was 7 ounces. A consumer at one HEB location received 7 ounces more chicken than a consumer at a different HEB location, purchasing what the label presented as the same bird at the same price. The HEB rotisserie chicken seasoning blend contains sodium phosphates, carrageenan, modified cornstarch, and a natural flavoring system running to multiple undisclosed compounds. The sodium content sits at 450 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. HEB is a privately held corporation headquartered in San Antonio, with annual revenues estimated at approximately $40 billion. In our blind taste panel, HEB rotisserie chicken placed 3rd overall on flavor complexity across the full field. The eating quality is genuinely above the mid-tier field. The store-to-store weight variance is the reason it sits at number 7 rather than higher. The audience most affected here is athletes and performance-focused consumers across Texas who calculate daily protein intake based on the stated weight and are receiving between 7 ounces more or less depending on which store they happen to visit. If a brand earns loyalty through genuine eating quality but delivers a 7-ounce weight variance across its own store network on the same day, which number is the consumer actually planning their meals around? Number 6 shares a supply chain with number 11. Number 6. Sam's Club Rotisserie Chicken. The membership premium. Sitting on a Walmart supply chain, Sam's Club positions itself as the serious warehouse alternative. The membership model, the bulk value, the sense that what is inside represents a step above the standard retail experience. For rotisserie chicken, that positioning rests on a supply chain. The weight data and the corporate structure both call into question. Sam's Club is owned by Walmart Inc., the same corporation whose rotisserie chicken sits at number 11 in this ranking. The shared corporate ownership is the primary investigation angle here. Not just the weight loss, which we documented and which mirrors the Walmart pattern, but the specific question of what a Sam's Club membership is purchasing in terms of supply chain differentiation from a product the consumer could access without a membership at the same parent company stores. We weighed Sam's Club. Members mark rotisserie chickens across 3 locations. The stated weight averaged 3 pounds and 2 ounces. The actual weight at purchase averaged 2 pounds and 9 ounces, a discrepancy of 9 ounces per bird, the largest absolute gap of any brand in the full field. The sodium content sits at 460 milligrams per 3-ounce serving, nearly identical to the Walmart figure at number 11. The ingredient list includes water, sodium phosphates, sodium lactate, natural flavor, and a seasoning system with multiple undisclosed components. Sodium lactate is a preservative extending shelf life under heat lamp conditions not disclosed prominently on the consumer-facing display. In our sensory evaluation, Sam's Club produced similar results to Walmart on skin render quality. The flavor was marginally more developed. The audience most affected here is budget-conscious families who chose Sam's Club over Costco based on membership cost and assumed the rotisserie chicken quality reflected a meaningfully different supply chain. If 2 rotisserie chickens share a corporate parent and produce nearly identical weight discrepancies, what exactly does the membership premium buy? If the warehouse membership was chosen for better value and the bird is losing more weight to the heat lamp than at any other store tested, is the membership still earning its cost? Share this video now. The top 5 is where weight integrity and ingredient quality finally begin to align. Number 5 is the premium grocer whose scale finally speaks. Number 5. Whole Foods Rotisserie Chicken, the Amazon-owned wellness brand, whose weight loss profile we documented at every stage. Whole Foods built its identity around the idea that the consumer should not have to choose between convenience and integrity. The rotisserie chicken is the most visible prepared food in the store. We brought a scale. The investigation angle here is the relationship between corporate ownership and quality control accountability at the premium wellness tier. Whole Foods is owned by Amazon, which acquired it in 2017 for approximately $13.7 billion. The question of whether Amazon's ownership has affected the quality control infrastructure behind the wellness brand positioning is one the 2025 federal incident makes worth asking directly. In June of 2025, a pre-packaged organic product sold at Whole Foods nationwide was found contaminated with a dangerous strain of E. coli after it had already sold through. No recall was requested because there was nothing remaining on shelves to pull back. The rotisserie line was not implicated, but the incident raised documented questions about the gap between Whole Foods' wellness positioning and its quality control infrastructure at commercial scale under Amazon ownership. The weight data we documented adds context. The stated weight was 2 pounds and 10 ounces. The actual weight at purchase was 2 pounds and 4 ounces. At 3 hours, it had dropped to 1 pound and 15 ounces. Total loss, 11 ounces. For a product priced significantly above the category average, that is a substantial gap. What Whole Foods does better than every brand ranked below it is the ingredient architecture. The seasoning system is herb and salt-based without carrageenan or modified food starch. Sodium sits at 280 milligrams per 3-ounce serving, the lowest of any brand in positions 5 through 11. In our sensory evaluation, Whole Foods placed third overall on flavor complexity. Skin render was consistent. Breast retained moisture better at 1 hour than every brand ranked below it. The audience most affected here is cancer survivors paying a significant premium based on clean label trust. The ingredient list supports that trust. The weight loss profile and the Amazon ownership context both deserve to be part of the decision. If a wellness brand is owned by the world's largest e-commerce company, does the quality control accountability that justified the premium belong to the original brand or to the new parent? Number 4 is where weight integrity finally showed improvement. Number 4. Sprouts, Farmers, Market Rotisserie Chicken, the self-declared natural claim, whose weight accuracy finally improved. Sprouts built its market position on natural food at accessible prices. We tested its rotisserie chicken on 2 dimensions simultaneously, and for the first time in this ranking, the weight data produced a result worth acknowledging. The weight accuracy angle is what separates this section from every brand ranked below it. We weighed Sprouts birds across 3 locations. The stated weight was 2 pounds and 8 ounces. The actual weight at purchase averaged 2 pounds and 4 ounces, a 4-ounce discrepancy. That is the smallest weight gap of any brand in positions 4 through 11. The smaller discrepancy reflects a less aggressive sodium injection protocol and shorter average heat lamp exposure time than the brands ranked below it. Less injection means less false weight to lose. The sourcing certification is where Sprouts introduces its own complication. Antibiotic-free and all-natural appear on the label without a named third-party certifying body beneath either claim. Antibiotic-free printed by the brand itself is self-declaration, not USDA process-verified status audited by a named federal program. All-natural under FDA guidelines means no artificial ingredients. It does not mean organic, pasture-raised, or any welfare standard beyond the federal floor. The ingredient list contains water, sea salt, and a herb seasoning blend without carrageenan or phosphates. Sodium sits at 310 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. Sprouts is a publicly traded company with annual revenues exceeding $7 billion. In our sensory evaluation, Sprouts produced strong skin render and herb-forward flavor, cleaner than every brand ranked below position 4. The audience most affected here is diabetics, making dietary decisions based on Sprouts' natural positioning without realizing natural and independently certified represent very different levels of accountability. If a brand's weight accuracy outperforms its sourcing certification transparency, which half of the promise is the consumer actually receiving? Number 3 is the cultural phenomenon nobody has weighed before. Number 3. Costco Kirkland Signature Rotisserie Chicken, the $4.99 price point, Whose value the scale? Recalculated. No rotisserie chicken in American retail has generated more loyalty or cultural conversation than the Costco $4.99 bird. It sells an estimated 100 million units per year. The Nebraska processing facility, built for $257 million, exists largely to supply it. We put it on a scale, and the recalculated value is the investigation angle. We weighed Kirkland's signature birds across 4 locations. The stated weight averaged 3 pounds and 1 ounce. The actual weight at purchase averaged 2 pounds and 10 ounces, a 7-ounce discrepancy. At 3 hours post-purchase, the weight had dropped to 2 pounds and 3 ounces. Total loss from stated label to 3-hour consumption mark, 14 ounces. The second largest absolute loss in the full field, behind Sam's Club. That 14-ounce gap changes the value calculation. The $4.99 price point is calculated against the stated weight. When the actual yield at the table is 14 ounces below that figure, the effective cost per pound of protein received is higher than the sticker price implies. The legendary value of the Costco rotisserie chicken is real at the stated weight. It is less clear at the actual weight. The ingredient list includes water, sodium phosphates, modified food starch, and 460 milligrams of sodium per 3-ounce serving. The phosphates function as a moisture retention system under heat lamp conditions and contribute directly to the injection weight, inflating the stated label figure. The Nebraska facility gives Costco supply chain accountability no other retailer in this ranking can match. That accountability is real, and the primary reason Kirkland's signature sits at number 3 rather than lower. In our sensory evaluation, Costco produced strong eating satisfaction. Thigh meat was consistently moist. Skin render was even. Flavor was well-seasoned and familiar. The audience most affected here is high-volume family purchasers who have built the $4.99 bird into weekly meal planning, based on a weight the scale confirms is not what the table receives. If the most beloved value purchase in American retail loses 14 ounces between the label and the table, is the value still what the price tag promises? Number 2 delivered the most accurate retail label tested. Number 2, Wegmans Rotisserie Chicken, the phosphate-free bird, whose label accuracy reflected its ingredient decision. Wegmans runs just over 100 stores across the northeastern United States. Most American households have never had access to it. The weight data and the ingredient decision behind it suggest they are missing something genuinely worth finding. The phosphate-free formulation is the precise investigation angle. Not just the weight accuracy, but the direct causal relationship between the absence of an injection system and the accuracy of the stated label weight. Wegmans Rotisserie Chicken contains sea salt, herbs, and spices. No sodium phosphates, no carrageenan, no modified food starch, no water listed as an ingredient. A bird with no injection system does not carry false weight onto the label, because no water was added before roasting to inflate the stated figure. We weighed Wegmans rotisserie chickens across 3 locations at purchase, at 1 hour and at 3 hours. The stated weight was 2 pounds and 8 ounces. The actual weight at purchase was 2 pounds and 6 ounces, a 2-ounce discrepancy, the smallest gap of any retail brand in the full field. At 3 hours, the weight had dropped to 2 pounds and 2 ounces. Total loss from stated label to 3-hour mark, 6 ounces, less than half the loss. Documented at Walmart, Sam's Club, and Costco. The sodium content sits at 220 milligrams per 3-ounce serving, the lowest of any retail brand in this ranking. Wegmans is a privately held family-owned corporation headquartered in Rochester, New York, with annual revenues estimated at approximately $12 billion. It has not been acquired by private equity or a national conglomerate. In our sensory evaluation, Wegmans produced the strongest results of any retail brand. Skin render was consistently crisped. Breast moisture, at 3 hours, outperformed every brand ranked below it. The audience this serves most directly is athletes and performance-focused consumers who calculate protein intake from the stated weight and need that number to be accurate enough to plan around. If a family-owned regional grocer can produce a label 2 ounces accurate at purchase by simply not injecting the bird, what is every national chain's reason for not making the same decision? Number 1 had the smallest gap and 4 ingredients. Number 1, Erewhon Rotisserie Chicken, the 4-ingredient bird, whose label was almost exactly right. Erewhon operates a small number of locations across Los Angeles and surrounding areas. Its rotisserie chicken costs approximately twice the price of Whole Foods and more than 4 times the Costco $4.99 bird. At that price, the weight on the label needs to be accurate. We verified whether it is. The ingredient architecture as the direct driver of label accuracy is the investigation angle. Not just that Erewhon's label is more accurate than every other brand in this ranking, but the specific reason why. Chicken, sea salt, herbs, olive oil. 4 ingredients. No injection solution, no phosphate system, no water added before roasting to inflate the stated weight. A bird with no injection has no false weight to lose. What the label says is what the consumer receives because nothing artificial was added to make the number larger than the meat. We weighed Erewhon rotisserie chickens at purchase, at 1 hour, and at 3 hours. The stated weight was 2 pounds and 4 ounces. The actual weight at purchase was 2 pounds and 3 ounces, a 1-ounce discrepancy, the smallest gap of any brand in the full field by a significant margin. At 3 hours, the weight had dropped to 2 pounds and 1 ounce. Total loss from stated label to 3-hour mark, 3 ounces. Every other brand in this ranking lost at least twice that amount. Most lost 4 to 5 times more. We verified Erewhon's organic certification and pasture-raised sourcing against USDA Organic Program documentation and certified humane certification records. Every claim checked out. In our sensory evaluation, Erewhon produced the strongest results across every criterion measured. Skin render was exceptional. Breast moisture at 3 hours remained the highest of the full field. The audience this serves most directly is health-conscious consumers who have decided the retail shelf cannot deliver weight accuracy alongside ingredient integrity. On both counts, they are right to look elsewhere. 11 brands, 1 category, and 1 bird whose label told the truth. Here is how to protect against the weight gap before the next rotisserie chicken purchase. 3 questions. Any store. 30 seconds at the warming case. First, does the ingredient list include sodium phosphates or water? Both indicate an injection system that adds weight before the lamp begins reducing it. A bird with neither starts from an honest weight. Second, how long has the bird been under the lamp? Ask. A bird within 30 minutes of coming off the roaster is close to its stated weight. A bird rotating for 2 hours is not. The question is worth asking because the answer tells the consumer whether the label is still accurate. Third, does the ingredient list run to more than 5 items? Every ingredient beyond the bird, salt, and herbs is a processing decision that adds injection weight and subtracts from the protein actually received at the table. Now run the home test. Weigh the bird immediately after purchase. Write down the stated label weight. Weigh it again before serving. The difference is what the heat lamp took before the bird reached the cart plus whatever evaporated during transit. Most households doing this test for the first time are surprised by the result. If the bird in the fridge has already lost weight since purchase, it is still a meal worth eating. But the next purchase deserves a label that starts from an honest number. 11 brands, 1 category, and a heat lamp that was more honest than the label because it never claimed the weight was accurate. The best options in this ranking have the shortest ingredient lists and the smallest gaps between what the label says and what the scale confirms. The rotisserie chicken industry built its value proposition on a stated weight. The scale is now something worth bringing to that conversation. If every rotisserie chicken purchased this year weighed less than the label promised, how much protein was paid for and never received? Check the ranking, find the honest bird, and share this with everyone who grabs one without checking the scale. Subscribe, share, and keep rising.